according to the way things are going on, according to the way because I guess you are an observer of things, you be around things all the time, events and stuff. What is the general state of Christian events? Let's start from there. The general state. Are we improving? Are we stagnant? Are we holding back? Are we not daring enough? Are we doing enough? Are we already there? What is the state of Christian events, I must say?
Wow. It's a big question that calls for so much thinking. But I guess it's written over every wall that you can see. We are in what we call the survival mode. Yeah, we are not transiting to anywhere. As well, it is very hard to mention about the history.
So if I told you, say, we are not transiting, if I told you, say, we are in a certain mode where we, I want to interpret that as stagnation or something.
Yeah, sure.
What's the biggest challenge? What holds us back? What gets us into that state?
I guess one of the biggest challenges that we really have is we have not tried so much to understand what it is to make a very successful, beautiful event. You know why? It is more like people look at it as twakisangao bwekiri bwekiriba emirembe gyonna. Until you realize that someone will make a show and will not want to know production, will not want to know what it takes to make the details, the nitty-gritties. All they want to know is, have people come in? Am I on stage to sing? But I don't think it is all that, you know? So you realize that it grows from the mind of knowing what should be done. And ignorance is really ruling over. You realize that someone makes a show and the best they can do is come dressed in different suits, yeah? And that's all. You understand? So you will be asking yourself, what did this person call this show for?
So the biggest challenge is ignorance.
Ignorance. Maybe there are some pertinent challenges, real challenges, but they all grow out of ignorance. You realize we do not have the financial muscle, yeah, the sustainability. You realize shows nowadays, as compared to different. Now, for example, not because I have this man on set, the Church Laughs. I really have to commend them for they are trying so much to do something out of the scope. You understand? You realize they have a production team. Everything is well scripted. But there are some shows, you will enter a show and they will tell you, tuyambe koko ku backstage. Tuyambe koko ku stage management. Yes? Naye olwokuba nti owulira nti tewandyagadde mubiri gwa Kristo kuswazibwa. You step in, you own up, okitegeera nogezaako okuteekawo that expertise.
So, with that being said, how do you compare the state of gospel music events to other entertainment events? Like,
I would say there is a lot that differs. You realize that those entertainment events have budgets, for example, have sponsors that come aboard. They have concepts, yeah? Concepts on which these shows are run. But you realize that someone will go to a show, someone will call for a show, and the best they have is just a new song. And a new suit.
TikTok.
Yes, kati. Ekyo tekimala. Okitegeera. Omuntu agenda keera ku makya kugambe 20 years of DJ Jemo. That is worth celebration. It's worth, you can attribute it to a line of people, target audience.
All right.
But you realize someone's song has hit on, it's trending on TikTok, and they want to make a show.
Damascus released the song today. Very,
Something
very
well.
well. Alina omusumba pastor n'omusumba Bugembe. At first I thought it is a remix of his first
Very
song.
well.
Naye it is completely a different song. So that you should check out. It came out today at I think at 10 a.m. around there. That's when he released the song. But away from that,
We're still moving on. Good enough, we still have Johnkay here to help us understand a couple of things. Before we actually broke off, Mr. Mike, yabadde ayogera ku nsonga ya segmento. Segmento yavaayo, I think it was this week when we showed the video. Ng'ayogera ku event ye yasembayo and how he was definitely set back because of lack of funds, resources. He had, even by the time he went out of the event, he had a couple of dates here and there. And I think in his statements, he was like the biggest setback for Christian events to succeed was lack of sponsors. And I really want to understand from you, Johnkay, what could be one of those reasons that probably corporate companies, look at, or why is it that they find it so hard to come on board and support Christian events? Yet we have the numbers some of the times.
Wow. Now, that last statement made sarcasm. When you say we have the numbers, how do you show that you have the numbers? That's very important. To all the artists out there, it's very important to show how you have the numbers. Brand visibility, I'll give you a very, very good example. I was pitching for sponsorship, for some event, one of the events that I do. So when I went to pitch for sponsorship, while in the boardroom, I'm sorry that I'm giving this example. They asked me, okay, tell us about this artist. What is his strength? You understand? Yeah, I told them we have the numbers, just like you have said. Number two, Zidina. And, my dear, by the time they checked my artist's Instagram, the best we had, we did not have performance videos. We did not have actually those ministrations that we have done that really show the numbers. Yeah, the best we had was family photo. So they kind of told us, you know what, if you had come for a sponsorship in line with family, you should have scored. But as an artist, no. So you get to realize whatever we are posting on our social handles, it should be very, very, very critical. Because at the end of the day, the sponsors, the corporate companies, are not interested in how much you are going to bring, like the people. How many people that you're going to bring that day. They want to be convinced by what you have done before. So,
They don't look at that.
no. They don't mind how many people are going to come in that day. They're not driven by surprise. They are driven by history. Ebyo byekusuubira birindeko baagala kumanya mu bulamu bwo obadde okola otya. Okitegeera? Lwaki? They want to relate their what? They want to relate their brand to something kye balinako ki evidence.
what are those mistakes that we do? Maybe.
Okay.
When we are approaching sponsors, because maybe according to what you're saying, it is it is a barrier as well, and it is some of the things that are failing us to get these sponsorships.
Very, very big
Yeah.
barrier. You realize that when someone does not give you the reality with the numbers, because marketing is never about what we procrastinate, what we think that may come, but what is the reality on ground. So one of the biggest mistakes that we do is, in fact, as a gospel fraternity, we dwell so much on the spirituality
And the faith.
than the commercial nitty-gritties. Yeah? Kiri ku ground because omuntu akubuuza
Ani ze kugamba nze nzikiriza Mukama abantu bajja.
anti uliriza akugamba bwati, for example tukozese akyasinza okubeera omwangu MTN ajja kugamba nti munnange nedda kale tukozese rock boom. Kozese rock boom. Okay, mega blast. Kati wetukozesa mega blast ajja kugamba njagala my kyengenda okuwa naye in return. Okay, this is where the mistake is. Nti tulemererwa okunnyonnyola ki kye tugenda okugaba in return. Tukulembeza nnyo bye twagala naye ne tulemererwa okubalaga engeri bo gye bagenda tufunamu. So ku buli muntu awandiika proposal weetaaga nnyo okumanya abantu bano bagenda kufunamu batya. Nti owa mega blast agenda kugamba nina gundi yange okitegeera, nina product yange okitegeera, product yange eno njagala etuuke ku bantu 1,000 okitegeera, kyenjagala oli ready okundeetera abantu 1,000 kuba ye kubanga ye kyabeera olwo kyabeera abaze brand marketing okitegeera. So you realize that someone will go to a corporate sponsor namusaba, for example namusaba advertisement okitegeera, space ne bamuwa space, naye ogenda okwesanga nti ye nga sponsor ye atachinze ku kintu ekitalina maanyi okitegeera, kuba bo kye baagala kirina ki maanyi.
Wali masanyalaze 3 phase.
Teri sponsor atayagala wali masanyalaze okitegeera.
Amasanyalaze tetugayina.
Anti kati kankubuuze ekibuuzo ekisookera ddala nti olwaleero muyimbi ki asinga okubeera ow'enkizo in the gospel fraternity?
Tulinawo Levi waffe sebo.
Okay.
Akubuzeewo.
Now Levikson ojja kwesanga nti he appeals to the what? To the sponsors. Why? Because he has the what? The masanyalaze. And it is very evident. You know why? Genda okebere ku socials, ku social handles za omukulu, buli wamu waliwo shows zakola okitegeera. Kibi nnyo, nze nafunako setback yali mbi nnyo, nze mpostinga ennyo abantu ku birthday ne tubuuza ku bantu. Nsaba okutegeeza nina deal gye nafuna, I lost it because on my socials
Posting a birthday.
Omusajja Omumerika yambuuza, how am I going to explain to the employees, to the employers in the US, naina kolera Nigeria, how am I going to, not even Nigeria, because Nigeria they will see you work, but the employers in the what?
In the US.
In the US, how am I going to explain to them that you are the best? Levikson, you will realize that even his, when you look at the mathematics, yeah, with his viewership, yeah, it really, YouTube, all streaming platforms, they really add up, yeah. Now, you cannot be the same person, yeah, versus Levikson to go to the same sponsor when the best you have is a 1K, yeah, on YouTube after 3 years.
Kali, mukubamu uko na easy. But first of all, but guys, we want to thank God that at least we've gotten some sponsors. At least certain companies have come on board on certain shows. But maybe we lack the consistency to have them all the time. Mm-hmm. Someone comes and they jump off. Someone comes and they jump off.
And I think one of the biggest challenges je tuyina Mr. Mike what the sponsors olumo bazze nga Johnkay bwagambye nti tubairawo ne Levi ne Pastor Bugembe naye tuyina abo babiri in like a decade. So maybe my question would be, how do we shift from 2 netutuuka ne tubeera at least with 10 of them?
Mpozi nekirala Johnkay nga tuvudde nga tukomyewo neba n'abatono abazze kale tuleke corporate companies zino ennene naye tulinawo abatonotono abazze. How do we keep them? How are we going to package ourselves and our events so that we have the consistency? Now bwe mbanga nina sponsor wange nga nze wa Church Loves nga mpaayo obukadde bwange bonna mfuna ntya Church Loves 3 n'abeera nga tazze kwemu endala n'adduka.
Olina okufuba okuservinga interests ze The content is very, very, very important. What is it that you put out? What is it that is identified with your brand? Branding, I guess we get a mistake. It's always a mistake when you say, Kati, I'm doing charity, no later have a camera, no chiteka mumbere ya branding. Yeah. Kiri okay, but always twagala tubuze, how consistent are you going to be with this? How is the public going to identify you with this? You understand? So we now know that when we go to church laughs, we have this and this and this and this. Kwegamba, what we market, yeah? What is it that you give? What is it that someone is going to identify you with?
Can
It
you
is
give us the same quality, the same
the
standard?
same standard.
If at all not, if at all you're not go at least upgrading, at least maintain the standard.
Definitely. That's more like branding. It's more like branding. Like, what do you give? You understand? How consistent are you with what you give? So it's a big challenge with most of the artists. We believe we can do so much here and there, but the consistency is very important. Someone said, content is king for those that play chess. Someone said content is king, but then consistency is queen, and consistency runs the house, and the queen runs the house. You understand? So consistency in your branding is very, very important. That it will grow your loyalty, brand loyalty. Yeah, you realize that it's not about music alone. There is a lot that people should identify you with. For example, when you talk about Pastor Wilson Bugembe, what comes to your mind? It goes beyond just the Tonta song. It goes beyond just the uh,
Nyini bulamu.
Nyini Bulamu very well. There is so much that is attached, yeah, to this what? To this brand. So I believe artists should go out there and try as much to do more with their brand. It's not about music alone.
Maybe just on that very note, John K, it's a very paramount, answer that you're giving. But also sometimes one might ask that if at all you're consistent, but you are not giving us the best that we definitely deserve, it might also raise some questions. In this digital era that requires innovation each and every single time now and then, how can gospel artists or Christian creatives be able to integrate innovation into the consistent events that we definitely do, maybe?
Okay. You're talking about innovation. Yeah.
Because I might not
But
get value for something that I've seen over time, year in, year out, and
but
I will definitely come back.
okay, thank you very much. But do you realize we have people, for example, we are preachers, not so? We are singing preachers, right? Tujimba bagikola ki? Bagibuulira. This is the thing. Believe me, you now this kino ngenda kwawukana n'abantu bangi mu ndowooza kiri very okay nti nina okuyiiya ennyo okulaba engeri enjiri gy'eyitawo kituufu okitegeera naye oyiyiza mu ki mu nkola oba mu njiri yennyini ki kye ŋŋamba kye ŋŋamba kye kino nti the word of God never changes, right? But delivery can change. You understand? So you need to be innovative around the delivery. Yeah. The Bible says in Psalms 33, verses 3, it is so much about skillful worship. You understand? Like you need a skill. You understand? It's not just hey abanange twazukuse ffe kati anti mukama agambye akuntumi. There is the delivery has to change. Here we are in an industry when we have people that are not minding about the delivery. You understand? And yet they want their scope to go mufe ku bubaka tekikyaliwo ekyo tekisoboka. You understand? So kati ogenda kwesanga nti the innovation has to be around the delivery. How do you deliver? You understand? Experience. Yes, the experience that you give. You realize nowadays versus the general entertainment industry. You will go to a show. Before someone sings, the lights sing to you. You understand? The screens speak to you. Yeah? The production alone.
Notukali n'ogamba neno egera tunyumira.
Kati anti kyekunyumira tebinyuma. Anti ettala likuyitako esu. And you be like, tosobola wulira muyimbi aflattens. No tosobola. Okisegera. Naye kati nga concentration yonna oyina gissa ku muntu nga buli nsobi gy'akola ogira okisegere. Kati ne sponsor tayagala kwataakinga brand ye.
Honestly speaking, tetulina gwe tukiikira nsingo ne audience yaffe mbivulu byaffe ya droppingamu okusinziira ku mwaka 2023.
Yes, sir.
Nze lwaki ngamba bwentyo, nasooka nali ngamba El Shaddai nejjemu wano nti tusooke tutunuulire ebivulu byokka ebibeerayo buli mwaka. Annual events. Nti annual event eyaliyo mu 2023 ne 2024 bwe tuzikompeyalinga eza 2024 zonna za droppinga in numbers.
You're right.
So
that is a year also when we had the biggest international acts coming into the country, but we also had a very poor turn up in audience.
Oh, serious. So audience yaffe yagwa. Should we attribute what you're talking about to the drop?
Yes.
In the audience?
Yes, I want.
And if so, how do we improve? Okay. In a minute.
Thank you very much. Now, you'd realize that there is a drop in the analyticals in terms of numbers. Yeah. You realize, one, our artists, yeah, by tebete kako the chebaita demand value. Nti ba artists baffe kibanguyira okubeera everywhere. Lwaki? Because it is the promotional strategy. Kituufu. But ogenda kukizuula nti kale nkampere ddala kugwa example. Togenda wali eri n'obuwulira. Lwaki buli crusade gy'osanga si gy'olinnyako n'obuwulira? Kyekyo kyengezaako kugamba nti we have not created. While I was in Kenya last month, there is something I learned, that as Ugandan artists and industry, more so the gospel, we do not create markets, but we create for market. Nti tetutondawo butale wabula tutonda olw'obutale. Kitegeeza twesanganga ffenna tulina kugendera muki mukattu nti ki. So the audience demands. The audience demands. Yeah. And when they demand, no, let's ask nti banaye ki kye tuyina nti tuyina crusades. Ffenna tukole ennyimba za crusade. Tuyina ki? Tuyina church service. Ne tukole ennyimba za ki? Za church service. Za praise and worship. Okitegeera, but mu delivery yaffe tetuyina we creatingira market. Nti market yeri ki? Nti we had one of the most abantu bamuyitanga worshiper, yeah, Honorable Judith Babidi. But you realize the kind of music that I was doing was devotional prayer songs. She created for that market. Era abantu ne bagirecevinga nnyo. Okitegeera nti tekyali about
kujja kuyimba generally.
She was intentional. Okitegeera nti yakolanga devotional songs nga every time you want to pray okitegeera mpambatira mukama ositule nange anti kyenkugamba kyekino bwe yalinga acreatinga yabeeranga intentional. Then newajja Pastor Bugembe n'acreatinga market etaaliwo ey'okuba nti ayimba ennyimba ezikomyawo abantu eriki eri Yesu, okitegeera okuva wherever they had the Komaweka, he created that market, okitegeera. But you realize today tuyina market gye twagala satisfying. You will find an artist who wants to play a song that is going to play in a bar because that's the market that.
Ladies and gentlemen,
TikTok, beautiful. TikTok, okirese bulungi.
Johnkay.
Yes, sir.
Akadde katugobye. Era kasa naye bwe tugenda kwogera bulungi ne producer. Kubanga ebibuzo byaffe byo bisigaddeyo nga bikyaliwo. Bingi nnyo ali bitazeemu. Naye ate tulina n'okwegatta ku muganda waffe Party Africa ate naye abiri nga tutwala mu maaso. Social media handles and how people get you in 30 seconds to view.
Johnkay the writer, Johnkay K-A-Y the writer on all my social handles, and then of course Amo is at M1 Records in Makerere Corner.
Download the Salt Media app from the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store.